Hey, hello to all of you out there in the world. And yeah, this is Freak Out Friday. I'm starting to show a little early for those who are possibly missing or jonesing or wanting more content that might be not available right now on this time of day. Another podcaster usually fits in. Yeah, if you're looking for the bike farmer, I'm not the bike farmer, but I'm the next best thing. So, any case, I'll let you be the judge of that. Any case, hey, welcome to a No Guy Bicycles Hanging with a Guy. I am Justin, the guy. I have a garage shop. If you haven't watched my channel before, if you're looking for Mr. Farmer, he's on traveling. So I figured I'd slide in and keep you fulfilled with all your just bike stuff needs, right? Any case, thanks for hanging out with me. It's another day in Colorado, quite chilly, and as in the headline goes, winter is here today, but on Tuesday, 4 days from now, it's going to be in the 70s. And a few days ago, it was 60s and sunny. So we're having this huge 40-degree flip back and forth. And that makes me think, how does that affect bicycle retail? It affects it quite a bit. Quite a bit so that if you have a brick and mortar store and you have one in your local neighborhood, right now it's cold. And well, in the Fort Collins area and northern Colorado, or mostly Colorado. And going into the weekend, being cold is going to suck on sales. It just does. It's just one of those things where people are not going to be thinking about riding because they're not out and about on the warm day, which is going to be Tuesday, which though a lot of people do work from home and have that ability to leverage that, like i.e. me, to go out for a ride on a nice day, 70 degrees on a one o'clock afternoon on a Tuesday. I'll block that time off for me. But a lot of people that work regular jobs don't have that opportunity to do so. Therefore, there's a lacking of urgency for a lot of people that do a lot of cycling to get either the bikes worked on or supplies for the rides or any of that nature of going into the brick and mortar store. They may be anticipating it like, oh, it's going to be nice on Tuesday or coming up soon. This is like a flare warning, a shot across the bow, if you will, to all those that are avid cyclists to this is time to think about getting your bike ready and making sure if it's not already ready, like the tires pumped up and so forth. I sent an email before through my list of email list of preseason check, and basically what it boils down to making sure it's aired up, the chain is ready to go, it's shifting good. Any of those issues that you may have forgotten about at the last ride of the season and you just kind of blew off, like the brakes are not well and that kind of thing. If you don't have the time to figure it out and fix it yourself or have the mechanical seal to do so, this is the time to take it into the bike shop to be worked on. Either have it tuned up or those minor adjustments to make sure it's primed and ready for that nice day that you're off. And, that usually sneaks up on you. Like the older I get, time seems to go faster. There's the whole time relatively thing going on that my wife and I always talk about. But there's a weather situation here that is cold. I'm not thinking about it, but Tuesday it's going to be 70. So I want my bike to be ready to go, even though I'm not ready to go, because you want to be able to take advantage of those particular times and that kind of thing. So anyway, jump into the chat. I did try to start this a little bit early, for those who just need more extra bike content on a Friday and just, get out of their head about everything else. This is something where I really don't talk about other things that the farmer does, or dive down to whatever. I have my own style. So if you don't like it, it's fine. He'll be back most likely next week. Any case, I am here to fill that space. And if you're watching on the traveling there, Mr. Farmer, have good, safe travels. And hopefully you're in warm in Phoenix or Arizona, whatever you went. Any case, love them, hate them, like me, hate me, whatever. we're all here to try to support our communities, and that's what I'm doing right here. And there's several things I want to talk about today. And I am standing today versus sitting because it is technically 43 degrees in my garage, and I have a little heater going on in the back here to keep me a little toastier. And I will kind of repeat some of these topics at the top of the hour. I am kind of testing this first because I had a interview with Mr. Bill West. Bill West is one of our local legend bike mechanics that's been around for decades. I had the pleasure of working with him, and I finally dragged his 78-year-old butt out of the house and told him to come in the garage and let's have a conversation. And he did finally. And we had a great little conversation, and that's on my Shop Talk Tuesday. So if you missed that, go back and go check that out. Great insights. He's one of those individuals that have done a lot of things in industry, historical-ish, a true bike mechanic, like heart and soul, bleeds part grease bike mechanic. So he's a gem in our local, and it was really a pleasure to do that. But while doing that video, I noticed my laptop computer camera connected with StreamYard, which is the platform I use, was a hell of a lot cleaner than the camera on my phone being remotely done. So this is kind of like a little test platform. I hooked up the mic to my computer. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Hopefully you can see me okay. Let me know in the comments if it's something's weird. Just, hey, I'm a bike mechanic trying to do YouTube. So anything helps in, try to be, nice about it and understanding that you are a bike mechanic and your editing skills are not the pro level, or lighting is not the pro level, but I'm working on it in any case. 65. Oh, start off with Spooky Tuesday 17. What's up? Hopefully you're warmer in your neck of the woods and anticipating warmer temperatures coming down the line. All right. Good morning from Southeast Nebraska. 65 Bugnut. Yes, you've been on my show before, or in the chat. Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out. Oh, you went from 80 degrees on Tuesday to 7 inches of snow. That is like Colorado, baby. I mean, that's our schizophrenic weather here. And that's, part of alluding that to the thumbnail and the title and the talking about it and all those kinds of things. Any case, it's one of those deals where I lost my coffee. I'll be right back. It's one of those deals. I'm a Colorado native, and like a lot of other places in the world, there's you have the if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. That's pretty freaking true in Colorado as well. Not to say that we're totally coined that phrase, but we are one of the participants of those climate weather environments. So that being said, that does directly affect brick and mortar retail sales for sure. Therefore, a lot of companies have veered off into a different direction just because of direct-to-consumer, wholesale, all those kinds of things, right? Our environment and the cycling community and internet and AI and everything, it's changed. It's changed, and it's not going to change back to the old days of Bill West, which I was mentioned before. And it's just going to continue to go forward in constant change. So some of that's great, honestly, in my opinion, because I was able to do a business out of my garage. This is literally a bump out of my garage that I made a shop out of, which is pretty much a standard shop, like any bike shop, just here in my garage. And over in the corner over there is a shop sink, ultrasonic cleaner. Got my parts. I got storage above me where I have I can put up 19 bikes above me. I have a bench on the other side where it's a fitting area, specialty tools, and also shipping. Shipping, you say? Well, shipping is a huge part of my business because majority of the stuff that I sell online, used parts, frames, or what have you, is shipped. And that alludes to off-season sales, which makes that peak and valley through the season less painful. A lot of shops have leveraged this. Some are still head in the sand ostrich about it. I'm here to help any of those independent bike dealers that want to kind of step out of the sandbox and go, how you do this? How are you doing it? Are you doing well at it? And so basically my shop, my business is, I would say, a test lab for a lot of things, because when waxing just started out, I tried that, tested out, test on market. It's a thing. I'm testing out, detailing frames and so forth. It's not as got as much steam behind it yet, but who knows? It might be a thing. And then various other things of selling online, appointment-based business, small micro, in a neighborhood, like a regular neighborhood. You wouldn't even tell. I know a guy bicycles was here, except for the Google search, and it shows him in front of my house. But that alludes to not having to buy a van, wrap it, tool it up, $120,000 to $150,000 into it, if you do it right. And then you have a business that you have to run all over the place. I like bicycles. I like riding bicycles. I hate driving. So, and I do my best work in a stable environment. Just think of me as like a little test lab bike mechanic. Like, you put me out in the wild, I don't like that so much. Some mechanics do really well at that. And then they're meant, they're programmed and built. They do great. That's awesome. Good for you guys. Me, I did it a couple times. I'm like, nope, you're bringing the bike to me, because I can't haul all this crap that, I might have that one thing, or it might be in that pile of wheels that I have bummed out that are like, oh, I need that one spoke or the free hub body or whatever. Enables me to be able to leverage it like a brick and mortar in a sense. And therefore, it's more time efficient on me, which you get a better quality of work. When you drive up in a van and go to do a tune-up on a bike, you're under the gun of the clock. That is not a good thing for a bike mechanic at all whatsoever. Plus, you're driving in weather like this, which is cold, snow. I mean, some people, I'm 55. I don't want to be dragging my happy ass around all over the place, freezing my little nuggets off, trying to take care of people's bikes. I really have them come in a little stable, warmer environment and kind of do my thing at my own pace, which in turn gives you a better mechanic, better, happier mechanic, and better tune-up, and also attention to detail and all that kind of thing. And if I need to set it aside, order some parts, whatever, I can do so, just like a regular brick and mortar store. So that's the flip. Convenience, yes, for you consumers to have somebody roll up and go, hey, I need my bike tuned up. Yeah, it's going to be your basic tune-up and so forth. Deep dive overhauls and so forth like that, a little hard to do in that. Not that they can't be done, but they do. In any case, going back to the weather, which is the top of the topic. Woo! Reason. So back in the 90s, story time. Back in the 90s, really not much of an internet, not for promoting anything. People just getting their websites up. And we would have a spring sale. And what sparked the spring sale? On the back end of it is your freaking invoices are coming due in March because you did dating on inventory that you brought in at Christmas. So the dating starts in March, April, May, third terms. So therefore, you better generate some cash to pay off those, because you don't want to kick that can down the road because you'll be paying more interest on it. So lo and behold, the spring sale in March, right? And weather in Colorado is intermittent, right? And there's so many different forecastings that they had at the time to anticipate that. So my dad had a brilliant idea. So he went, if it snows more than 2%, we'll do an X amount of percentage more off of bikes. And like another 5%. So it was like 20% or 15%, whatever it is, basically cutting our margins in half with the sell price. We had a little more margin back then. Today, they're scraping by. But back then, lo and behold, we did the sell. And you probably heard of sales like that. If it sells a foot on this particular you get your furniture for free for some, whatever, retail big box blowout thing, which did happen in Michigan about 10 years ago. Or was it Toledo? I mean, it was close to Toledo. I think it was in Toledo. In any case, back to the story in the 90s. We did this flyer promotion, put it in put an ad in the paper, did flyers through the mail. If it snows X amount, 2 inches or whatever, in the town of Parker, get an X amount discount on your bike on Saturday only, right? It's a small community, and most people knew the shop. This is right by the movie theater and the Taco Bell, so we were seen or known of, and lo and behold, it snowed in that March, whatever day that was, on a weekend, on a Saturday, bam, 2 inches of snow, which typically would be crickets in a March. We were about as busy on a good June day. So even though we did not make as much profit, we did get the cash flow to pay off those were part of the March invoices. So that was one of those things. So that's a lot to bank on, right? There's a lot to bank on as a retailer. It's a lot to bank on for a person that rides a bike. Like, nice out, sign up to this event. I want to go do this event in April. April is the second snowiest month in our state. So it's an illusion that winter's over. And we signed up for a thing, an obstacle course thing, and it sounded a lot of fun. But sure enough, it snowed on that day, and we got our money back, and they canceled the event and that kind of thing. So same for cycling, races and so forth. Biking's a little more versatile in a sense, unless it's environmentally damaging, like mud and so forth, or riding, because sometimes trails will be shut down because of that. Especially here, we're pretty in tune to those kinds of things. So if you had a mountain bike race and it's really muddy, they'll shut it down. The local parks would be like, nope, you're not going to tear up our trails with a couple hundred riders racing on their mountain bikes, tearing everything up. Not going to happen. But for gravel rides, maybe some road, definitely not triathlons. Too cold. I don't know, maybe not. I mean, they're pretty tough individuals. I mean, they'll probably have a limitation. But in any case, that's what we're looking at. Weather is a huge factor within the any retail, but specifically outdoor events retail, cycling, very big factor. Well, fast forward to 2026 and our little, not the weather, but current economical shitstorm that we're dealing with right now has changed our cycling environment to a large degree. So service is the biggest thing. And I don't know if you guys seen a lot of this already, but if you're in the circles and the like tabs of shops and so forth, like a good chunk of them are already posting, we need help, looking for mechanics, specifically mechanics. There's a shortage. There always has been a shortage, but now it's like a whole crap. We definitely how to turn a wrench. We'll talk to you. Because they need to bring in and staff up, because after last year, it's definitely a high indication that service is going to be one of the volume of cash flow bringing into the business. So hopefully the shops will have this. So this is two things. In other words, they're going to help customers, you cyclists or avid riders, are going to hopefully get a lot better customer service than you have in the past. In other words, more attention to detail, better service work, because money's being put into it, investment's being put into it. Working on timelines and all those things, better parts, what have you. Hopefully it's changed in your market, in your neck of the woods. The flip side is they're not going to have enough mechanics to support any volume. So it's best to get your bikes tuned up sooner than later, just on that fact alone. But in addition to, on slower times, when they have they're bringing in people, teaching them, they're taking their time right now. When June or April, whenever it hits in your season, in your area, when it hits hard, it hits fast. So that the seasoned mechanic is not going to have a whole lot of time to take little Billy aside and go, let's show you how to do this, because he has a stack of tune-ups to do. So you want to get your repairs in early, and you get better attention to detail to your bike tune-ups, which is sweet, because better quality tune will last a little bit longer. And sometimes they'll have a little bit of discount, and not even say a little discount. At least the prices are there right now, because I guarantee you, ownership and service managers are going to see the hellstorm that we're going to be faced with for service coming in April. Those prices are going to go up 10 to 15 to 20% up on service labor. Just, it has to happen, unfortunately. And there's going to push some people back to, I'm going to do it myself. It's fine. I encourage everybody to work on their own bikes. But some people are just not mechanic savvy, don't know how to turn a wrench for the life of them, which is fine. That's what we're here for. Or they just don't have time. And if they don't have time, usually they're, have a good job and they're making decent money, so they'll just pay somebody else to do it, which is great too. So those two factors. But a lot of us that may have been suffering from various other situations, like cost of living is a little bit more expensive, can't really afford certain things, somebody lost their job in the family ecosystem, that puts a lot of us like, I got to do it myself or mode. That's where channels like mine and various other ones, and also Park Tool is another great resource of how to work on stuff the right way, is here to help you and help that community. So yeah, the heavier lift things that you may not want to do or pay money to buy the tools for, like bleeding brakes or that kind of thing, you can do one-off services to help your ride to keep going. Hopefully the service department's busy enough and also in tune with their economical situation and their environment that they're not going to be trying to force a lot of extra labor. That's kind of the cookie cutter, big box, Kool-Aid corporate mentality. Independent bike dealers have a choice of going down that road, which a lot have, but some have steered away from it and it's like, we're going to take care of you. My dad had a great saying. He was like, do a little thing, like a little adjustment. Or I brought my bike in and it's like, it's not shifting right. And it's like just a little bit of a barrel adjuster and that kind of thing. He'd roll that stand right and bike that right off the stand and go, there you go. Oh, do we own anything for it? Nope, I'll charge you twice next time. Don't worry about it. He's investing into that customer. That customer is going to turn around and invest back into our bike shop. That works really well. It builds a really community sense. It's the same kind of concept where Big O or any of those tire companies will fix a flat for free because they're hoping that next time you're ready to buy tires, you go to see them. Same case in point. So if you have a service department that does the same thing like that, or they're going, that's going to cost you whatever and give you a lot of gruff, there's a couple things that might be going on. Either they have a bad egg in their system, meaning a bad employee, or they're just so burnt out and they shouldn't be in the cycling industry anymore. Hate to say that, but I've been there. Quite honestly, I've been there. I've been a burnout road. I mean, fucking hated the things. I got into a bad, dark place. And that's like 25 years ago. My parents lost their shop. I'm working for a bike shop. I hit this, another chain, not getting paid very much, hit the ceiling. There was nowhere to go at the time. Like, this is my life, right? And it's just, there's a couple of triggers. Just like, oh, this is not quite right. So I looked for a different job. I got into a different place. It was a chain. I was able to go up the ranks, and it was a sporting good chain, enough different than bikes that, it didn't hit any triggers of the pain I've dealt with before. So I excelled there. Actually, I excelled well. I worked there for almost 9 years. I was being groomed to be a regional supervisor. I mean, that's where they were seeing my path as a self-promoting company. And then I was like, I'm really tired of working weekends. My new wife is like, I don't want you to be gone all of Christmas because pretty much as a general GM in a big box store during Christmas at that time, from Black Friday to the first week of January, you're working 6 days a week, 50 to 60 hours a week for corporate, for the man, for salary. So you're not really making extra. Anyway, long story short, went back into the cycling industry, and lo and behold, I found a new love. I found a new passion. I found a new safe space because my personal life has changed drastically, where I was not the sole in bringing the bacon home. I was a partnership and a better relationship where we were equal in the sense of, she was going to be making more money than me. This is fine, she enjoyed what she was doing, which made me able to do what I was doing a lot better. Several shops later, lo and behold, today, I'm in my happy place. And I hope I bring you into my happy place, and I hope you enjoy the content that I create between bringing old kooky individuals talking about the good old days, whatever that may be, or newer stuff, or current events, or talking to bike shops. Talking about bike shops. Hey, Susan, thank you for joining. Oh boy, I got to move around. It's a little chilly in the garage today. Do a little two-step, do a little dance, like the virtual treadmill kind of thing. All right. All right, let's jump in the chat here. 30 minutes, and if you're looking for the bike farmer, I'm not the bike farmer. This is his time slot. I usually don't do this in this time slot, but I figured you're missing some extra bike content and you need more bike stuff talking about it. Here I am to help you support and to bridge that gap till next week. So anyway, it's a weird marketing thing. It sounded good in my head, but here I am. Plus, I'm kind of testing stuff too. All right, like internet stuff, not the bike stuff. But I will talk about the bike that I have behind me, which is a cool Klein. Interesting thing. And I probably won't be spending too much time in the garage today. I got a lot of back-end digital paperwork to catch up on, like everybody else. This is the time to do it because I don't want to be freezing my fingertips in the garage. Spooky Tuesday. Oh yeah, you're down in Pueblo. It's been so warm. It's 23 here in Pueblo. Yeah, the temperature right now is 18 up here in Foco, or NorCo. Yeah, northern Colorado, which it's chilly-ish. See a lot of frost on the car. I took my daughter to the bus stop, and it's pretty darn chilly. 23. What's up with the cold weather on February? What's up with the warm weather in February is really the question. Right? I mean, like 4 days ago, I was like almost 70, and I did I've rode within a week-ish, count a day or two, 4 times this month, which is nuts. And not head to toe covered, comfortable riding. So there's the variations that we're going through for sure. Absolutely. And it's something interesting. Let's see here. The local Trek shop is advertising a 24-hour turnaround on a tune-up. They are the only shop that I've seen doing this. Okay, so great statement. This is a statement. 24-hour turnaround can be done. And it has been done. And actually, I'll have to go look it up. The NBDA, which is a National Bike Dealers Association, they had a podcast on this, and they had a shop. I think they're in a little bit warmer climate, like California or something like that. But they have a 24-hour turnaround, and they have multiple locations too. And they have a secret sauce. Well, it's not so secret. They're actually telling the sauce, it's very well thought out. And it seems it works really well. And they've had really good success with it, with very, very low return repair issues. So it can be done. This is the sticky point with Trek or any other corporate company trying to do a flash in the pan pitch, a 24-hour turnaround. They don't have the mechanics to do it. They don't have the actual layout, groundwork, path of doing it well. Can it be done? Sure. Is it being done because of the volume is so low at a corporate store, like it is at a car dealership when they're doing service work? Think about it, because The car industry is a completely different beast. You have your other mechanics, small garages, service centers, even Big O or Amco or whatever it is. They all do service, and they all tote their horns of doing better service or whatever. Okay, a lot of people in the States here don't take their cars to be serviced at car dealerships because they have the stigma they're going to pay a lot more money than they should. That kind of thing, right? So isn't that the kind of the same as the cycling industry, or cycling industry a little different with bike shops? Because the corporate bike shops they seem to be more independent feel to them, although they're not. I don't know. But working at Lee Cyclery, we did a really big push of getting our turnarounds to 48-hour turnaround time. I had 6 at my location, really good mechanics. The North location had about 5 or 6 all season around, kept around all season mechanics. So doing this time, we only had 2 stores at a time, or they only had 2 stores at a time. During the height of the season, we did pretty much keep that. It did slip a little in July and definitely back to school, but we shifted some service mechanics back and forth and got the things caught up. But I would say the quality of work is probably not the best because you're in the gun. There's like so many hours of time in a day to do and that kind of thing. And some shops allow overtime. And believe me, as a bike mechanic, has been a production mechanic, like working on autonomous service, you're only good for about 4 hours, maybe 5 in a work day. Anything other than that, you best just be doing fixes, flats, and small, easy stuff because you're mentally burned, you're tired of standing, all those kinds of things. And I was in my 30s. Being in my 50s, oh, hell no. If I went in to apply for a job now at a bike shop, I'm like, oh, we have 24-hour turnaround. I'm like, how's that work? And if it doesn't line up to what I really know, I'd be like, oh no, this is going to be basically a pressure cooker situation, and you're going to burn out all the people that work for you. Not to say that Trek, they did this pitch about 2 years ago of doing 24 hours. Maybe they do have that secret sauce of gauging numbers and analytics and all that and hourly rate per mechanic, but there's a shortage of mechanics. That's the problem. And a shortage of seasoned good mechanics. That's the other issue. Let me know in the chat if you own a shop or you try to provide a fast, quick turnaround. Give me like 1 or 2 bullets or things that you do to make it consistent and happy for both ends. Like your customer's happy and your mechanics are happy. I mean, there's some ways of working around it to do that, but it's very challenging. So yeah, that's a good statement there, and I talked about it before, but in any case. Oh, Susan, thank you for chiming in again. Appreciate it. My partner and I always say that we will keep running our local bike shop as long as it is fun. Yeah, and it helps that we have some awesome customers who care about us as much as we care about them. So that's part of switching the word customers with community. And when I embraced this 5 years ago, doing my thing, I'm a hell of a lot happier. Things do happen here and there once in a while. But to be quite honest, that for most part of it, I really enjoy working on the projects, even though some of them may be challenging, like the newer stuff with internal routing and bleeding brakes and all that. Some of my customers have just got into cycling, and they're like buying the newer stuff and they're going in that direction. And they're taking me along with, I feel like they're taking me along with the journey versus they're just floating me more work. It's more like I talk to them about it, like, friendship, community. That's huge. And if you build that over time, your Januaries, like my January, was freaking busy. I mean, busy. It was awesome. Slow down a little bit. So yeah, if you're in a local neck of the woods and you're thinking about getting your tune-up done, check out my website. I know a guy bicycles. Look at my appointment, drop it off. We'll get you taken care of. Because there's always that little lull before the storm, and this is a great time to take advantage of that. Believe me, we'll get you going. So when the days become consistently 70 degrees, 60 degrees, you're ready to go. Oh yeah, this Susan says, "Oh, crazy warm here. Got up to +3 yesterday. That's Celsius, so that would be like 33 degrees in Canada. Woo, Fahrenheit. Still chilly. That's not my happy temperature by any means. But it's I do find it very interesting, like the weather. Even like talking to shops when I worked with Retail Toolkit, it was a software that helped manage inventory. And we had 2 clients in Canada, Woodcock in Edmonds, and also Mike's Bikes, I think closer to you, Susan, maybe. Bigger outfits, the whole thing of how they pre-book inventory to get it into their shops and all that is way different than US. So the whole aspect of it, but also the seasonality. You have a shorter window of summer, which mirrors us here in the States is Alaska, and Alaska is very interesting because you get oil concessions once a year. It's kind of like a second Black Friday. It's just nuts because they get these checks from the government saying, "Hey, this is your cut from the oil coming out of Alaska." And it's like people are lining up at Costco buying TVs and stuff and high-end bikes and all this stuff. It's just a weird eco thing going on up there. I worked with a guy at Lee's. He was from Alaska and worked in shops there. Last time I lost track of him a few years back, but he ended up at BTI. But it was interesting that I was like, "Oh, do you work on a lot of bikes?" And it's like a lot of high-end bikes. And they get their kids really expensive bikes. And like, why is that? It's like, well, first is that stimulus check that they get with the oil. That's one thing. And the second part is their window of outdoor activity is so small compared to the rest of us in the States. They really put a lot of leverage on it because most of the time they're just working, either oil rigs, canning, whatever their business they're into. They're just working 9 months out of the year really hard. Then when it's summertime, they just go freaking bonkers, which I don't blame them. And he said they sell a lot of high-end stuff and high-end all that, and that's just the weird kind of thing. Well, when you look at areas where you have potential economical growth, or like for Boulder, for example, Boulder is a pretty expensive place to live in Colorado. It's a lot of tech. You got the college. You got a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of big incomes are going into or surrounding areas of Boulder, from government contracts now to just private sector stuff and whatever. And that's where Giant just moved their, or going to be moving their corporate offices from California to Boulder. Quality of life, if you ever watched the Mork and Mindy show in the 70s, kind of, coins it up. Robin Williams, watch one and just, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't do the whole season, but the guy's kind of funny. Also, Robin Williams was an avid cyclist too. Yeah, just sidebar. So anyway, there's weather prediction, right? Forecasting, Farmer's Almanac, whatever weird thing that you might, my broken bone gets itchy or whatever, and it's going to snow. So that alludes to, I live with a scientist. Yes, atmospheric scientist, by the way. And her main studies and PhD is derivative of droughts, basically snowpack and prediction and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty important for us here in Colorado. Is the state of Colorado high country, mountains, snowpack, and all that. When it melts and runs on the little rivers, those little rivers go into towns and gives cities their water, and also gives farmers their water to plant crops and so forth, right? Pretty important stuff, right? Colorado feeds into 7 other states from their water supply. And they have water pack agreements that go back over a century of like water rights going to Nebraska and Kansas and wherever else, right? So if we have a drought season, that's very impactful for, individuals watering their lawn, or farmers be able to grow crops, or any of those things, right? Very important, that kind of thing. So cutting away from that just a little bit, just cutting away from that importancy. I was talking to her and I'm like, hey, I'm retail world. I'm thinking about retail stuff. And this is back when I was with Retail Toolkit. And we were working with algorithms, with helping inventory. And then we were diving into a algorithm to help with staffing and, predictability and that kind of stuff that, help stores. And we were building on that before I quit. I kind of quit. They had a new boss and he and I didn't work out well. I was like, I told the owner, I'm sorry, I love you, but I hate him. We got to go. I got to go. It's not healthy for anyone. Besides, he already has somebody to replace me anyway. So whatever. So, but on the loot of that tech side of it, of helping bike shops, in which most of my clients were independent bike dealers across the nation, few in Canada, and we didn't have, I thought it was one down in Peru was using our stuff. Anyway. Never mind. So I got distracted. I was thinking like, I can't tell you, there's no way that they can tell you, or any scientist with AI can tell you like on the 3rd Friday of this year on March, it's going to be an X date, but they can tell you a probability of a range of our current trends of the last, they have data that goes like 30, 50 years, right? Up to 100 in some places. So if they have data anomalies and so forth, they can use that, leverage it with AI, give you an outcome range of like, this would not be a good day to have a sidewalk sale this year, or this would be a good day to have a sidewalk sale this year, or event of a race, or anything that relates to outdoors and not freezing. So, or weather disruption, getting electrocuted by lightning or tornadoes, all those things, right? So my wife is like, I need to come up with like she wanted to do one for like wedding planners. And I'm like, we can do this for retail. So or those who are doing ride events, or like, I'm planning to go to a certain place to go ride, like Ragbri. And this year, and this kind of thing, what do I need to pack? Or I'm going cross country. Wouldn't it be really nice to have a tool that's very cycling specific-ish to bike shops and riders to be able to plug in and go, this date, this range, what should I be especially if it's somewhere you've never been, expecting for temperatures and so forth. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here with some ideas, and I thought it'd be really good to be able to, not just that alone, but fold it into either a retail application, like a POS system or something like that, or inventory management type thing to help the community, as well being forward-facing for customers or cyclists, communities. Let's put it that way. Back to communities, and helping them moving forward to that weather gig kind of thing. But anyway, because I would not have known a month ago on this date is going to be in the 30s, but the probability range could be. But we are on a warmer than average, so we've seen 60 to 70 degree days, so could have been. But that's Tuesday, so we'll be. So, but it's something to cut down the risk, right? The risk of not having the right stuff on your ride, the risk of having a promotion or event that's, that kind of thing. It could cost a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of heartache, those kinds of things, so forth. Anyway. All righty. Go. Thank you for joining. Not sure, is that a country flag? Let me know what country, the name of it. I'm not sure. It's really small on my view. But anyway, thank you for joining in. Yeah, let's talk about, interesting weather stuff. It's just nuts. But let me, but on the side, I've been working on, not the side, but part of my business. I've been working with some brands, and yeah, you're going to see a plug, but it might be something to think about. And what I'm working with on some of these companies is not just a direct customer portal, but also a direct to B2B, business to business for some of these products. Business part, the cycling industry has been shaken upside down, and this is, a couple really cool outfits. I'm gonna play this one here. It's about bicycle wheels. Makes the wheel go around. Really, I've talked to this the owner several times. Really cool story. Really cool company.
Bicycle Wheel Warehouse in California has an excellent selection of wheels to choose from. They're pre-built, or also you can have them custom built up to various sizes. You can reach out to them directly if you have something unique like the 650 wheel or a different style hub. Therefore, it makes it an excellent bike wheel set company that actually provides good wheel sets without breaking the bank. You will find them being very trusted and true. They really hold up under a lot of different riding conditions and so forth. It takes the standard old school wheel building practices and puts them in a better format. But in any case, this is a wheel set you'll be really love to have. It'll perform for you for a long period of time, and the quality and the attention to detail is superb. You'll find information about this company in the description below, with also my personal coupon code. I hope you find a good wheel set where it works for you.
So on my website, knowaguybicycles.com, I have a trusted partner page where it's not just I'm converting it. It was just wherever I can get an affiliate, right? Kind of the social media thing and so forth. It's okay. Not the warm and fuzzies that I want. So I'm switching it to warm and fuzzies, the big hug. And I'm vetting companies specifically that support cycling communities and are passionate about cycling, instead of just trying to sell something on an Amazon affiliate, that kind of thing. Why I do want to do that? Well, I like partnerships. I like communicating, and I like to have a sense of, you individuals that do cycling or work in shops, you have a level of trust to what I say, and I don't want to erode that. Because I don't want to just be like, oh, I'm going to be somebody else today. I want to still be true to myself and true to my community. And Bicycle Wheel Warehouse, as well as a few others that I'm vetting, help that and help you. This is very timely, because I got a wheel set last weekend and from Bicycle Wheel Warehouse, and I'm going to reveal it here. It's in the box still. So, here's the box. Bicycle wheel box. It's going on my Le Mans. Classic Le Mans, red classic Le Mans. So within, I got a wheel set here, and we are going to go there. These were hand built, by the way, too. Some are pre-built already, but he's like, hey, I'll set you up. I'll get a wheel set to you. I told him what I'm looking for, something that's classic to match my retro wheel sets or bike, which is a 19, or not 19, it's a 2002, I think, Reynolds 853 steel. If you watch my channel, you saw it. I bought it in Las Vegas for super cheap. Oh, sisters, smarter, not harder. Right behind me. So this is the front wheel, and talking with them. Well, they reached out to me originally because they were a fan of my channel, which is kind of cool. The second cool thing was, hey, I noticed you work on a lot of classic bikes, rim brakes specifically, road, which is most of them. if you need new, I know I know you've used. I go out there and look for used wheels. But if you get in a scenario where you need a new wheel set, let me know. This is what we do. And it's like, not really heard of them too much because they were not the direct-to-consumer space for very long. They were a company that would build wheels for wholesale companies for a long period of time. It's like it's a two thing, diversifying. And he wanted something that's more direct-to-consumer. And he reached out, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool because you're getting that high-grade manufacturing level, but old school wheel building in wheels, like this guy right here. This is their house brand rims that they have made. It's a machined aluminum. Looks like very similar to the Mavic, as the XP21s or something like that. Very similar to it. And they do a lot of hand lacing. This one does have it's a straight gauge spoke. I did divulge my weight. So he's like, how much do you weigh? I'm like, I'm 2+. It's like, oh, okay. And that does relate to what wheels that you want on your bike. If you're a heavier lad like me, you need a wheel set that's going to hold up. You can ride lighter, but they're not going to last as long, or they may do damage, or even worse, break on you while you're riding, which is not a good thing. So always go with durability over dainty light fastness. But this came with 105 hubs. It looks like a straight gauge 15 gauge or 14 gauge spokes, alloy nipples with a nice alloy rim. Comes with quick releases, and I did believe he put in rim tape on there too. This is not the tubeless style of it, but for what I've been embedding into, it's one of my side project I've been working on my website. You can find these wheels under my shopping cart, which you click the button and it goes to his site. I know it's an extra set and it puts you over there, but the thing is for me, actually, I'll just show you what I did here, just for fun. It's the giggles. Because, when you're really in tuned what you do and you do it well, like providing a product and so forth, there's sometimes a disconnect from the customer perspective. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. I just like shoppability. Like that's where, as an inventory manager and doing category trees and all that for several years, that's where my honed skills is. So when I look at a site like Bustle Wheel Warehouse, which is very informative, but for this specific niche, if you're like looking for rims for road bikes for rim brake kind of thing, he has a lot of stuff on there. It gets overwhelming, really overwhelming. So what I decided to do is to make a category tree and break it down so it's more digestible for those who are looking for a wheel set. So this is my partner page here, trusted partner, but we're not going to go there. That just shows like the discount and so forth. You want to go to the parts list. And once you go into any of my products, you'll see a category tree on the right side. So I'm not completely done. I'm built out about halfway of this. So, but I did targeted, which majority of you that are riding classic rides and looking for a rim brake. So you got bicycle wheels, new and used. So I do have some used on there. And I have a used refurbished category here. That's going to be separate from the new. Then you have two main categories start for 700C wheels, which makes a little more sense because it's 700C wheel versus 26 or 29 or anything like that. And then you go to the classic, endurance, or lightweight. So that's kind of the three categories in my mind for those who have like a classic Le Mans that I have. Therefore, so this case would be maybe not necessarily lightweight and not necessarily endurance or touring, but let's look at the classic road. And classic road, you'll have some names here that you'll recognize, like DT Swiss. That's if you've been in the industry. Mavic. There's a couple, Velocity, that kind of thing. And looking at the wheel here, this is a pure super light race. So the one that I purchased percent, that's a black set. That's the name of theirs there. It might be this guy here. Anyway, this gives you like no more than 9 choices of that rim brake of a classic to choose from. Then if you want more information, I have a little video of a review, not specifically to that wheel, but basically the branding. And then you can kind of, just like your typical, all the other stuff I sell with the description. But here you can go and see the latest price. And this is where you can go and see what their, from their shopping cart program, the pricing, it's on sale. And then you can have options if what you wanted, so forth. And if that's not the wheel for you, you just go back here and then go search for something else that might work for you, kind of thing. Let's see. I believe it might be this one. And then, it's pretty cool because, oh yeah, it looks like that. That's what I have here. Seamless strat. Look at the wheel. No, a little bit different. Maybe it's on the race side. It did say race, so I may be categorized under race. Lightweight, not race, but lightweight. There we go. So some of these wheels that he has, they have there at Bicycle Warehouse, have a lot of options, and some just have pretty much the straightforward. You want silver or gray. That's what this guy is here. But he this is the same rim, but he did 1 of 5. You can contact them and see about custom building pretty much anything that they can provide, which is really cool. So that being said, that this gives you a great option where it's really, and why do I bring this up? And why was this brought to, it's like, it's hard to find used. And there's a lot of used out there that's slightly damaged or don't know how long or don't know the history of it. Rim brake wheels at the bike shop level, and tell me if I'm wrong, if you own a shop and you're ordering from QBP and BTI and JBI, are you having a harder time finding a larger, wider selection of rim brake wheels from 26 to 29 to 700C? Is I think there's, especially with better hubs, heavier riders like myself, touring, e-bike specific with a mid-drive, which means the motor is by the crank and the wheels are your standard wheels. These guys need to be stronger for e-bikes because you're carrying more weight. Therefore, that's where I'm kind of trying to helping with that categorization of it, that kind of thing, and bringing the message. Because I had a truck in here, and it was a rear drive, but the front hub, I was doing a once over, and the spec front hub on it, I'm like, this should not be on this bike, because the hub is not, it's designed for a regular bike. It's not an e-bike strength quality hub, which they do make for just general riding, like the 105 Ultegra flanged out, a little bit better ball bearings, there's cartridge bearings or what have you, or different brands out there that are beefier, more gravelish. But this was just a dainty bearing, not adjusted correctly, front hub. And if it wasn't adjusted correctly, it's going to burn out those bearings real fast. So therefore, any case, so even on the brand new spec OEM, and this is not, that wasn't a cheap bike. It was like a $2,000 e-bike hybrid, and they cut, they do cut corners. I mean, it just happens. So any case, but yeah, vetted out a great mid-range, little upper, they do have 650 wheels. They do have a 27-inch, if you want to do a classic, they have a 27-inch. So yeah, I'm ecstatic about that kind of stuff. It's really kind of cool. Any case, but yeah, if you talk to pretty much any mechanic or anybody in the industry, they're like, "What's the first thing I should upgrade?" That's pretty significant. Notice the difference in my ride. wheels will be the first thing they'll say. It's been always kind of the industry things like increase your wheels. The second is, your chain, better quality chain or smoother chain. Wax chaining is huge, that kind of thing, which is, leads me to the other sponsor of my show. I'm starting to cut out waxing. I always will wax chains in my shop to a certain level. It's not going to be I'm not going to do all the speed chips and endurance chips and all that because I have this guy to leverage to do so.
Ever popular chain process or waxing of Vital bike chains provides brand names like Shimano, SRAM, and various others to be cleaned in high detailed 5-step process and then waxed to your professional level with either speed chip or endurance chip, which has been proven to have better performance and better lasting events and recreational riding. Takes care of the messy process, and all you have is the clean wax chain ready to perform. Check them out. Discount code with a link below.
And you just go to my partner page on my website. Find the discount codes on that. So well packed wheels. Oh yeah, I do have. Bill from Vital Bike Chains. Oh, where did I put that guy's parts? I have one of his chains in the house. Customer of mine doing a build up on a state, full build up, like frame and build and everything. He's like, yeah, no, you don't do the speed chip, but here it is. He ordered it, had sent pre-waxed and all that. I have no problem with that at all. It's like, sweet. And I get to check out. So I'm going to be checking out one of his chains. So Bill's going to be underneath the scrutiny of the I know a guy. Sniff out his chains. No, they're pretty cool. In any case. Oh, Jared, thank you for chiming in. Oh, the Clydesdale. I remember those. There's a Bontrager. That was a Bontrager branded model, the Clydesdales back in the day, which I don't know if this has it. Oh, this is the Select. Another thing on used rims, if you take a straight edge ruler or something really, known to be straight, go to the rim bed and put the rim bed there, and it's supposed to be flush. And if you can see light, like I can, in a concave, that means the wall thickness has been compromised to a point where it's probably, these have dings in them too, but they've been used to the point of good chance you should just replace those. Will happen eventually that weaken point, I've seen it, the rim will split and pop, and then usually when you're riding and all of a sudden, brakes will be like tick, 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 and you're like, what the hell if it doesn't blow out? And then you see this rim metal crack and flare out. And you're like, whoa, that just abruptly ends your ride. I mean, you can't fix that on the fly. Unless you open up your brake and decide to try to ride home without brakes, it's not usually a good thing. So in any case. So, yeah, it's 30 degrees today, Friday, going to the weekend. It's been a cold of the weekend. So, hey, welcome to Freak Out Friday. This is the top of the original hour. I did start the program a little bit earlier, so those who are just joining us now, thank you for joining me. Hi, I am Justin from Anoa Guy Bicycles. This is my garage shop. If you haven't watched me before, thank you for tuning in. And we've been working on some cool stuff here. And the topic is mainly talking about weather and how it affects retail and so forth. But picked up this cool Klein Palomino. Jared, you probably remember these. I think that's the right Jared. If it's the right Jared. If you're the right Jared, please stand up. We worked with them at least. So I remember when these guys were new. This was a Klein aluminum frame, really sweet. Used the Maverick design of the time, which was like the latest cool, weird linkage thing that they have going on down here. A RockShox proprietary territory for this particular design. The Achilles heel on these old frames. They don't have parts, I don't think, for the rear shock anymore, so you can't rebuild them. So that puts you in the market of buying a used, damaged, part out one to keep your Palomino going. This one is holding air at 200 psi, and the front shock, oddly enough, doesn't feel quite right, but it is holding air too. So that's a RockShox Duke. This one's going to be parted out or sold as parts, as frames, because the non-side drive side chainstay, this guy right here, big old ding in it. This guy rode the living hell out of this bike. Good for him, bad for the bike. Some of the parts, like the rims that you saw, toast. Hubs are still okay. Maybe just part out this hubs. This is a bike I specifically bought to resell, so it's in the part out stage. Just basically trying to get the money that I put into it back. But I will feature the paint on these are pretty cool. The high glittery, kind of a purple haze kind of thing. But unfortunately, I don't know why they did it on these, because they put the cool color, then they painted over most of it black. If they would have flipped that, it'd been a way cooler bike. Because they paint the first color anyway, and it's these in the head and down to, it wouldn't take too much to do the whole bike, but they didn't. So, but Klein was definitely known for their paint jobs for sure. In any case, so top of the hour, back to the original time committed on this guy for Freak Out Friday. What are bike shops are freaking out right now? Well, one, they're trying to find staff, getting ready for the season, because they figure they need at least 2 months to get people vetted to either trained or weeded out to be a fit for their team. And that's a big lift for them. Seasonality for sure. And Jared can contest to this. Every year we had to lay off a whole bunch of people, then bring them back on. That was just the lead cyclers ecosystem. I didn't really like it, but that's how it was. I tried to keep as many people on staff as long as I could through the winter time, because regurgitating new over is hard. A lot of smaller independent bike shops just try to keep their staff year round without any layoffs. But this year, talking to some shops, they've had a first time have to do that. So then now we're on the flip side of trying to vet people to work in the shop and come back. It's bike shop life, especially in the seasonal area, is hard. It's already a hard business, but when you add the complicity of seasonality to it, and i.e. weather, it's difficult. Because when you get to a point where you have a 30-degree day like today, Jared, yeah, you're freezing your giblets. I am. Kind of cold right now, but Tuesday is going to be close to 70, and we're going to be riding with like just the jerseys and shorts, and the cold weather mixes Coloradoans and probably a lot of other of yous out there that when we have a nicer day, it's just a 40-degree difference. We're out there like flip-flops, shorts, Hawaiian shirts with our umbrella drinks. It might be only 65 degrees, but we're the wackadoodles that got used to the damn cold, especially when it goes to the negative temperatures for us. It's like, yeah, you're going to see a lot of people on the bike paths just having a great old time coming Tuesday. And, people ditch work like they do. And they're not ditching work to go skiing and snowboarding this year because they haven't had enough snow up there. So that's been shut down. And the cost of it is just so absurd. Anyways, not to get into that expense. So cycling is relatively inexpensive compared to a lot of other sports. So therefore, when you see people dumping $2,000-$3,000 into the bike, think about the ski industry. If you go skiing and snowboarding, you're easy that, not necessarily in equipment, but you could get into that equipment. It's just the cost of doing it. Like you go spend a weekend up in like even the less expensive places like Winter Park per se, or Copper Mountain, or somewhere that's not as popular, like Vail and Aspen. The cost on the weekend on something like that runs into the thousands easily. And that's not including your lift tickets. I mean, just the hotel stays and all that, super expensive. And just as a local driving up there on a day visit, you're still spending a couple $100. I mean, it's no way around it. Biking, though, on the other hand, you can go up the canyon, go for a mountain bike ride, bring your own lunch, have a great time, and not hardly spend more than just what it costs you to drive up there. And if you have an EV like we do, not much at all. So therefore, winter, when it's really a warm winter like we've had here, that drives a lot of people to do a lot more riding and getting ready, enticing to do those bigger events too. Like, well, I had one customer who was like doing the first time triathlon, lake to lake race here. And they're thinking about doing that or signed up for it. And so they're already thinking in the mindset of like, okay, I need to get on my bike. I got to get my miles. Scott, another great customer of mine, he's doing a charity ride event in a different state. So he's like trying to figure out how to get a case, transport his bike, vetting, different parts. He's thinking about getting another wheel set, that kind of thing. And he's trying to get as much riding in. He's even bought like a used indoor trainer, a smart trainer to keep his legs going. So he's really nervous about this race, even although I know he doesn't have to do anything different than he has been in the years before and be able to smoke it just fine. But in his head, he's gotten in his head, like, I have to do more to be ready for it, which, to some level, yeah. And maybe, you enjoy it a little bit more if you like power through it, that kind of thing. And, it's always better to be a little more in physical shape when you do those events than others. But in any case, it's, this is the time of year when you're looking for different equipment. This is the time of year when you do want to do a change, like better wheel set, go to the wax chains, give that bike some love, more efficiency and that kind of thing. Because you want to do it before the weather is consistently at 60 to 70 degrees. Because when it becomes that, guess what? All its bike shops are going to be super freaking busy doing things. Here's the other painful pitch or thorn in our industry side right now. And this is what a lot of shops, Susan, all you others are like how bike shops are now. While it's slow, do another cycle count. Go through, make sure you have, check with your vendors, check with your forecasting for inventory we're going to be needing and that kind of thing. Leverage AI in this. I actually did that. It was kind of fun. I took 4 years of my category sales, and I told AI that I need to see what my open to buy is for the next 3 months based on the current economical system, scenario, and leveraging the categories I have. And they spit out something pretty interesting. I mean, it didn't take me more than a hot minute to do it. Trying to leverage AI to do what we used to do at Retail Toolkit, which was an algorithm-based system. And it took 3 years to 5 years or even longer, your data in those categories to leverage that point to see what you're going to be needing. But here's the catch is those algorithms would not know the current state of the state supply chain issues, and which, I say that it's going to be cost on or availability for supply in inventory in the States. Those up in Canada are probably a little bit safer, but I know your booking system's a little bit different. You pre-order it, a little more advanced. But for us here, our economical state is going to be a lot more service heavy, and refurbishing used bikes is going to be the golden ticket because used bikes don't have a tariff on them. And then it keeps your service staff busy as well as your sales staff. And it is basically a gold mine of inventory that we have laying in everybody's garages in your neck of the woods. So I mentioned that before, but this is right now. You need to be thinking of those processes, vetting those, team members are doing those things to hopefully sustain enough running capital to help you get through the next season, barring all the weirdness, shortages, not the right stuff scenarios, because all of a sudden you may not be able to find wheels at BTI or JBI or QBP, and you're going to have your service staff aware of how to vet not just eBay, but other companies, which Bicycle Wheel Warehouse is currently, I'm working with them to currently try to make a B2B wholesale direction, because they make excellent wheels, but BTI, JBI, and all them are not buying from them right now because they are so restricting their inventory to what they know they're selling. But they used to carry all that stuff with several different models, but they're not buying them right now. And in 6 months, you're going to feel that catastrophic pain of trying to find something as a service manager or rider, going, I want something better than a junky single wall rim for this guy's 5200 that he wants us to build up. The guy's over 200 pounds. Here we go. And reasonably priced for the retail, and probably very similar margins you would have anyway with all those other vendors. In any case, just throwing that out there. But back to weather. Yeah, we've always been, as a brick and mortar, Parker Bikes days, as well as Lee Cyclery, always worried about weather. Weather always dictated, if you have a colder than average spring, you have less people riding, less people using consumables, tubes, tires, and all those things. So right now we're having a warmer than average winter, higher temperatures. So for us here, hopefully a lot of our independent bike shops have been leveraging and trying to promote and getting people into the shops and people in, because we may have a banner January and February month, but needless to say, March might be okay. April might be colder than average. I have to check with the wife and figure out what are seasonal trends on historical data for the last 50 years is on current conditions where we're sitting at. But like, it wasn't last year or the year before, we had colder than average. And I think it was 2 years ago. And coming to the event that I did, the Bike MS, in end of June, people were struggling because they didn't have not enough nice weather leading up to the ride 3 months in advance to get in shape. It was rough for these people. It was a rough ride. They didn't have really nice weather at all. It's like cold, rainy, whatever, crappy. And we had a colder than average spring, which killed a lot of that event enthusiastic. So here's the bit. If you go on a ride and you're new to cycling and you have a shitty experience in the end of June, the likelihood of you doing it again is zero, so you've lost some of that community. Also, I have a kind of a beef with them right now because they fired their person that was building up the organization here, and it's a bigger organization, so they're like, oh, we're kind of subsidizing. I haven't heard anything from them. Like, hey, you want to help out and all that, whatever, from the Bike MS? I'm like, I haven't heard anything. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing. I'll probably be reaching out like a month before, like, hey, by the way, you need mechanics, right? I'll still do it, but it won't be as much enthusiasm as I've done in years past, because they just undercut themselves. Granted, they gave it an excuse that, we need to cut back and so forth because the attendance rates or whatever. Sure, but yeah, I don't know. A lot of companies are doing a lot of dumb things, as we've already seen, like cut too many people off too quick, saying, "Oh, AI is going to take care of the gap," realizing it's not quite there yet, and now they're backpedaling and rehiring. So, corporate greed. So that's what we're faced with. But the bike shops, we're not here for the greediness of it for the most part, because it's a hard business. And there's that coin saying, like, if you want to make $1 million in the bike industry, you got to bring two. That is very true, and definitely true today. So what you're going to see, a lot of bike shops leveraging used product. If you are a bike shop, doesn't have the restrictions, which you shouldn't have restrictions anymore from your vendors, Trek, Specialized, Giant, all them, a selling product of theirs online, because they are. But anyway, you can sell and provide parts, frames, accessories, all those things to your community that's online influence like mine. And I've been working with that in a weird direction, not totally on purpose, of doing that, but that's here I am. And that's what's one of the things that's helping me keep going forward. So as a consumer, I have people that are in different states that are my customers, and they're part of my community, and you chime in all the time. Tim reached out for me last night. Like, hey, I saw that bike that you were posting and see if we can get in that, whatever conversation. That's cool. It's awesome. And they're just as much as they were here live as a physical person. So my community is a bigger, huger changed. A lot of bike shops, I've talked to a lot of them. They still are in the brick and mortar old school way of thinking. It's like, sorry, things changed. And it may have worked okay for you up to now, but now has changed so drastically that you might want to start changing different things, looking at things that will work with your team and your staff and your community. Because I have customers that are local too, that like, hey, I need to see if I get this. I'm like, oh, I have a resource for that, which is broader. And yeah, exactly. Like guy with a wax chain. It's like, I don't do speed chip, but it's like, yeah, it'd be cool, but I don't know. I'm doing so many different things, and like all bike shops right now, we're all doing so many different things that adding another layer of things, it might be okay, but most likely it'd be overwhelming. So don't overwhelm your shops with too many things, but you can leverage other resources to still provide that product for your customer and also make a little bit of profit for yourself for your time. So, hey, it's a possible win-win. That's the environment we're in. That's the weirdness of it. And the bottom line, we just want to get people out there riding, right? I mean, had somebody pick up a bike last night from a tune-up, and she's excited. Like, she bought it used, and it needed a little work, got it fixed up, fit it. I did a little static fit for her, so it's adjustments and coaching on shifting and all that stuff that all bike shops should be doing, independent for sure, that warm hug. And she's going to go out for a ride and ride it and have a good time, and hopefully have a good time. So much so that she either will have it worn out and have me do another tune-up in the future, or maybe look for another bike, a different type of bike, or have her other bikes that she might be riding, have me tune up. That's your community. I'm her guy. Like, I'm the person that she's going to go to. She lives in an hour away or hour and a half away from here. Like, that's the community reach that everybody should be looking forward to doing. So, a lot of shops, some we're going to lose quite a few of them. We've already lost quite a few of the corporate ones because they're retracting their footprint. And unfortunately, the bad part of that is corporation comes in, buys up your local little 2 or 3 shops in your little neck of the woods, right? And all of a sudden, like, they're not making enough money, and close them. And all of a sudden, now, okay, you may have been a little bit angry about them switching over to a corporate store. Now you're super pissed because you no longer have a store to go to, which now you're going to be leveraging a lot more Amazon. Not going to that. You're not going to go to their website and go buy stuff because they were here. They're going to go like, oh, they didn't support me, I'm not going to support them. I'm going to go somewhere else. So their retraction, and you're talking to lots of stores here. And I understand that they need to do that as a company to protect. They're in protection mode right now, hibernation or whatever you want to call it. They're retracting and trying to figure out what the hell they're going to be doing for the next 3 years, because everything's been turned upside down and it's not looking even better at anytime soon. So they're going to have to do to protect themselves as a business, try to stay in business, right? I implore any of those corporate companies that has bike shops that are considering closing or having to close in those locations because they help them with the bottom line. Give your stores away. Give them away. Give them, like super dumb price for somebody like me to go, okay, I'll take over the reins. I feel like in my community I can do this and build up a shop and run a shop and take over. They're not doing that. They're, doors are closed, ripped all the stuff out. What are they going to do with it? They don't sell used anything. They don't sell all the tools. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to do with it. All of a sudden, they have another warehouse full of stuff that they can't afford the warehouse space to pay for. It's dumb. So it's just, it's catastrophic for those communities. That's what really breaks my heart, because I know those kind of communities. Like all of a sudden you have a bike shop and support, and you're talking about people and kids and families getting into riding and doing riding and all this stuff, and all of a sudden they're not there. Hopefully there's somebody, maybe some leftover mechanics that got let off, like, oh, I'm gonna open up my own shop in my garage, because sure shit, I can't afford the retail space that Chuck was paying for. Oh, I said the word. Or Specialized or Pond or whoever else. There's a conglomerate of them out there, but you know what I'm talking about. And it's not to say that they're doing horrible things. It's just they could be doing it a little bit, as my dad would say, have a little bit of sense of style with it, right? Okay, it didn't work out for us. Fine, we tried our corporate version of this. It just doesn't resonate. All right, well, we'll just let you go to the team and go, hey, manager, we're gonna have to let you go anyway. Do you want to buy a shop, be a Trek dealer for at least a year contract, and be cool with that, and see what you can do with it? Give an opportunity, give us a business plan, and go from there, versus cut and run and nothing. I don't know. They could have done, you're not helping the community. You're not helping cycling communities when you do that. And did we see that happening? Ish. But we didn't see what we're in right now, ever. It's like you took every downturn from any boom for the last 150 years and just said, we're going to do it all in 1 year. Let's do it. Like, let's erode the economy, the interests of people buying stuff. Everybody has job security issues. Then we add top of that, everything's going to be more expensive, and it's going to be harder to get into the States. 50% off of steel. Give me a freaking break. Majority of your bike is made of steel, unless it's carbon. But everything else on it has steel chain rings, cassettes, consumable parts. That shit's going to get expensive quick, because the companies only could absorb some of that until the disruption of knowing if it is happening or not happening. They're collecting it. So that's going to be passed on to you. And then that inventory is not going to be directed into the States anymore. It's going to be rerouted to Canadians. Are going to have a whole bunch of nice bikes, and a lot of them, because it's not coming in here, or somebody's going to be like border crossing, smuggling in Treks and Specializes. It's just like so dumb. Oh, it's just so dumb. But anyway, I don't want to turn it to political, but that's our environment that we're faced with. On top of that, whether we can sustain it or not, and whether we have time, and whether we feel comfortable going for that ride. And it's cold today, but it's 70 on Tuesday. So, hey, I implore all of you to go out and try to get some kind of riding and exercise out of your head of whatever you're dealing with, either personally or what have you is going on in your life. Because there's a lot of hardships that a lot of people are going through right now. And pretty much all the peoples I know, they're either waiting to be affected by what's going on, or been affected, or they know somebody not too far removed affected by what's going on, which makes everybody damn nervous. And when you have that, and things are not going lower in price, and your salaries are not going up, and basically everything's saying, we're not going to give raises this year, which is next month for most corporations, it's not looking good. So get out and ride your bike, try to get out of your head, support your local bike shops, to support the communities that you love. or whatever outdoor activities, environments that help you get through what you're getting through. It's just, we're in this together, and we need to support each other a little bit more, or we're going to need to support each other a little bit more. So here we are. So I'm supporting a couple companies that are just trying to get through it, but they have heart and soul. And I'm going to continue to vet more companies that have heart and soul and bring them to my channel, to my community. It's like, hey, check them out. This is kind of cool. And not just, I'm obviously not here for the money, but I do need to offset the living, some of the income that we just lost. So in the family dynamics, until things shake out, and we don't know when that's going to be. So here I am. I plead to you, support and try to be supportive. All that said, but let's dump back into this. Whew. Oh, I'm cold again. I need just some running in space. All right, let's jump into the chat and see what our peeps are talking about, because I feel like I've been ranting for too long, which I have been, trying to keep myself warm. For what I'm going to be doing today, probably finishing cleaning this guy up, listing. I got parts laid out to picture and list. Waiting for parts for the state, like valve cores for tubeless setup, brake post mounts on that. And the tricky one, he had a used red shifter hydraulic brake, but at least the line that's in there, and it was like 6 inches too short. So I'm like, fuck, now I got to go buy a whole housing for the hydraulic line. So that hopefully will come in today. I'll jump on that over the weekend, so I get his new ride to him the early part of next week. Then I got another refurbished consignment bike to do, going down in Denver on Monday to pick up some bikes to refurbish, and just pray for more labor to come in. Really, that's what I'm doing here in my little neck of the woods. Use parts and frames and bikes and tune-ups. So absolutely. All right, Susan, Corporal wants their cake and eat it too. Yep, they do. They always have. They have not been shy in saying about that whatsoever. Local bike shops can't cover overhead or one service alone. Absolutely. Typically, this is a heads up for those who do not work in the cycling industry, or if you do and you just do like your own little labor shop, that kind of thing. For a typical retail location that sells new bikes and it has a service department, the service department contributes about 10% of the bottom line income of the shop. So you're talking about 80 to 90% of the rest of the running of business dependent on new bike sales that are typically over $1,000. In our environment here in the States, it's no bueno, not good at all. So some of the bigger guys that I know well that see this have been leveraging. It started last year, and I was talking to them. Will and Sprocket, they have 10 locations up north, and I'm fairly buddies with Noel. I used to work for him at Retail Toolkit. Really cool guy, great family, great shops. Been around for a long time, well known within the cycling communities there, as well as the bike shops. When Noel talks, people listen. It's a really smart cat. And when I had conversations with him earlier next year, I was like, man, you can be leveraging used. It's like, yeah, we're on it. Because the inventory fluctuations at that time and costs were not too bad, but the demand in his area was not asking for those $3,000 to $5,000 bikes. So before they were like really not really into used. Now they're like having, they had a tent trade-in event at each one of the locations through each weekend through the summer. And they're currently doing another one here soon, I think, what I saw. And they're hiring in our market. They're hiring. So they're looking for team members. They're looking for management. Shit, I would be working for them if I lived closer. I mean, dollars of donuts. I'd be like, hey, no, put me anywhere. I'll be your man. I'll be your guy. Whatever. Still would. I mean, they're so cool of a shop to model yourself out, small, big, otherwise. And they leverage the used to help offset. I don't know their numbers or any of that. That was not disclosed, but I know it's helped them sustain. So if they've taken that 80 to 90% at least, cut it in half with used and driving, models that are a little more price point. So listening into the National Bike Dealers Association's last roundtable talk, which you won't see, you have to be invited. But the conversations out of that was what they're seeing is, well, okay, those who have a lot of greenbacks, they're going to be looking for the $10,000 to $15,000 bikes. So that market is still kind of there. It's the $2,000 to $99,999 price point is gone. Those are the people that had the six-figure incomes that got laid off because of no good reason, and those jobs are becoming not available, as in case in point that I'm finding out personally through my wife. It's a bitch. In any case, looking at that, they eroded that whole price point structure. So that's even compounded through all last year. So going into next year, you're needing to find used inventory or bike lines that will provide bikes at a price point with decent margins from $1,500 and less on all categories in your niche. So those are the only ones that are buying. And guess what? Walmart is killing it. Ozark Trail, front suspension mountain bike, under $500. I think maybe it's $600, like $599 or something like that. Outspecs the Trek that's $500, $400 more. Like, oh shit, they figured out they can do it. Yeah, because those people, they're looking for kids' bikes. Majority of my neighbors are going to be they're not walking into a bike shop to look for a $600 kids bike, $500 kids bike. They're going to outgrow. They're going to go to Walmart, pick up their $200 special and call it good. And, they may take it to the bike shop or they learn how to work on it themselves or whatever the case. My wife's parents were notoriously known for this. They actually would go to like a Goodwill and pick up a bike. And when they got a flat, they would just throw it away and get another Goodwill bike. I mean, that's how mechanically, nothing bad against them at all, but they just were not able to turn a wrench or even have the mindset of doing so. That's the environment that we're in. And as bike shops, we have to navigate through that. So it's brutal. So looking at Susan's perspective, like, yeah, your service is going to take up maybe another 10 to 15 if you're lucky. If you have enough service in your area to pick up another 10 to 15% of your actual overall income for the shop to maintain, then you got to offset that somewhere else. I mean, either through brands, whoever's willing to buy anything. And then you got to really do a lot of community outreach and so forth. There's a lot of companies right now dipping in their savings just to get through. And that's bad because if they're cutting through their savings, that Trek Mansion is going to be up for sale here real soon. I mean, it's just if they're, there's so, I call them oh shit lovers. You have your oh shit lovers. And there's some that you don't ever want to get to, but you will eventually get there if things don't change or if you figure out a plan and figure out how to turn that ship around because it's going to get there fast in a hurry. But anyway, don't want to harp on them too much. I mean, yeah, some people say they put themselves into it. Yeah, to some level. It was kind of baffling how dumb they were when they were thinking the height of COVID sales would just continue forever. Like what I've seen in the last 35 years being in the cycling industry, every boom, there's been a bust of some sort. And sometimes it's a slower one, but that was so drastically a spike. You should have thought that it's going to hit just as hard coming down. in a shorter period of time. They did not see that. They just were like, gravy train, we're going for it. Buy more stores, yeah, whatever. We'll do all this. Let's take on more debt. We'll be fine. We'll sell bikes all day long. And we have the worst perfect storm of that, just kind of eroding all aspects of it for this court. So will they go under? Probably not. They are definitely changing. They are definitely going to look completely different in the next 5 years for sure. In any case. Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, Susan, you said about garage work. It's like even in the garage work, it's tight. It's like, oh, where can I make a little? I mean, I'm going through all my little bins right now and listing parts and stuff I'm not using. I have a pile of wheels. Like, well, maybe I can sell the hubs. The hubs are still good. It's getting like roll up the sleeves. We're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to dig in deep. Every $20 is gonna help, right? It's like things you just pass on before, but now you're like, yeah, maybe I need to really just really focus on all that stuff. So it's brutal for sure. Oh, sorry, Josh, I saw you pop up. Josh from Precision E-Bike. He is our e-bike expert in our neck of the woods. He is my go-to to e-bikes. I don't do e-bikes, not because I don't want to, but we have Josh. So why would I want to step on his space? Plus, he knows, he's been doing it for over 20 years. I mean, he got the inside and out. I mean, I'll send him. I've actually sent like one guy was like, hey, can you do a tune-up? Like, yeah. It's like, what kind of bike do you have? I got an e-bike. I'm like, oh, no, I'm going to talk to Josh. As in business goes, there's an insurance issue going out and various other things. But also, I'm not tooled up for or trained or teched to that level of Josh. So go to him. He'll be a lot better hands. But yeah, it's definitely, that's where a lot of the shops are becoming more of a community base, like grocery stores or like everything, right? But back in the day, you had the person that just made bread. That's all they did is make bread. And you had one person that was the butcher. That's where you got your meats. And then you had like the farmer's market. That's where the bike shops are going to kind of be like, and have been going in that direction. Like you're going to have your certain niches because cycling industry is so darn big that there's so many different parts of it now that you do have to have those smaller niche shops to support it to be best effective. For the most part. Not to say there's some shops that do a lot of it, if not all of it, but they have a lot of investment, time, and staff. That's the thing, staff. A lot of different people doing a lot of different things to be able to accommodate that for sure. Looks like, it looks like the tariffs were shot down by the Supreme Court. Yes, that's today's breaking news. Well, I heard that was probability of that, and apparently they had a backup plan, which mortifies me even more. Like they're not going to go, oh, okay, our bad. They're going to go, oh no, we're going to do this to you. So I'm not very confident completely until it's completely resolved and it's just abandoned. But hopefully so. All those companies that paid the tariffs that I most likely are not get paid back. We want to start importing our new foot forward e-bike designs. Nice. Yeah, is that kind of like Josh, is that, if you're still listening, is that kind of like a townie style? Like more of a kickback style from Electra? I mean, not to say that's you're copying them. It's just a foot forward type design. Just let us know. It's cool. Oh, Forbidden Colossus joining in. Thank you. Auto mechanics used to work their American cars only. And contributors. No computers. And auto tech needs to plug in scanners and electronic cars. Has to be more like an electrician. Yes. Well, with e-bikes, that's Josh's realm, a precision e-bike, yes. And also a lot of electric shifting mechanisms and so forth. To tap in. Like I don't really have a lot of hardware myself, as I do more majority, if not all, my stuff is mostly me power, me shifting, cable action, componentry. Yeah, and there is a thing. It's openly admitted that the cycling industry 15 years ago were going to follow the auto industry footprint and game playbook on making stuff more complicated to work on intentionally, to drive people to come back to shops to have stuff worked on. And the internal cable routing on that state that's in the corner is definitely a prime freaking example of that. Can it be done? Yeah. It takes more time. Absolutely. Charge for more? Yep. Does it look cool? Sure. It doesn't make anything different for the cycling experience. Not a damn thing. Besides, it makes it look cool. It's just, it has the functionality of it's null and void. This is where it really gets me. This is chaps my hide. Okay, you watch all the races, right? All of you. You watch the Tour de France, and you watch the Paris-Roubaix, and maybe some other races and so forth, right? You really dig it. That's like that's the NASCAR of our community cycling, right? No company is selling their NASCARs as a mass production to the public, period. So there's the disconnect. They're trying to sell you the high-end NASCAR version road bike to a chubby wubby like me that's 225 pounds and somehow gaining, even though I've been working out. And the frame's not designed for my weight. The wheels are not designed for me. The comfort on the cockpit is shit. It's like I get on that thing and I'm in just like a rack of pain. But if I have in my head that I want to be like Joe Racer for like enough Advil to keep me going, pump me up with a whole bunch of ibuprofen and acetaminophen. We'll see how I do for an hour. Yeah, sure. But honestly, my stem keeps raising as older I get, and more comfort is more my focus. And the comfort equals to more riding, which means more distance, which means more smile, more having a good time. I get back, I feel good, feel healthier, mentally state a little more corrected, all those things. So when you're trying, they're cool looking. Believe me, my 20-something self goes, that's pretty sharp looking bike. But my 35-year-old 35 years experienced mechanic goes, that is dumber than shit. Why are they doing this? But they have a plan. That plan failed. So we'll see. Anyway. Oh, a semi e-bike, pedal forward, semi recumbent. Oh, like the Rand Stratus. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that one, but designed as a mid-drive torque center tech. Nice, instead of a wheel drive. So it won't be a full throttle guy. That's nice. Huh, like a low flying aircraft. Nice. I saw several, my last ride a few days ago, saw 2 or 3 e-bike recumbents, and those two, big smiles. They were like having a great time. It was a couple. I think it was a couple. But yeah, it was pretty freaking awesome. They're out there. They weren't hauling butt like the one Joe that keeps on blowing through, which, by the way, noticed last time that little prick, not really, it's like an older guy, but somebody who's on his throttle e-bike going way too fast on the bike paths. He's wearing a helmet now. So somewhere along the line, somebody told his dumb ass he's got to wear a helmet or slow down. He did slow down a little bit, but I recognized the guy. Yeah, if you were right around Loveland, you know who I'm talking about. Like, dude, no, 15 miles per hour tops. If you want to go that fast, get on the freaking road. Go play with cars. Is you don't know when that little kid or John's going to walk across the dog with a dog or any of that stuff around. It's going through park areas too, like Boyd Lake area. It's hauling ass, not just open ranged area. Anyway, get off my soapbox. Sorry. Semi recumbent. Okay, yep. Torque centers, fine. Oh yeah, let's do a video. Yeah, we need to do one at your shop soon. Josh, and talk about the latest current events. It's been a minute since we did that. Things have changed, and see what's going on in your neck of the woods. Also, maybe we do one in Vegas too. Yeah. Yeah. The bike show's in Vegas, so don't think we're just going to go out and kick our heels up and have a great time, which probably will. But this cat has some stress, needs to blow off. But yeah, I'm going to be doing the events. Josh at Precision E-Bike, are you going to are you going to the NBDA part of it? Just the 2 days before the actual Cabda show. Apparently they're having a cocktail hour event speaker thing on the Sunday before too. Don't know if you're going to be in the neck of the woods. I'm hoping to be there. See if my wife will let me go out that evening. Although because I'm going to be doing other things. Plus, it's my daughter's spring break, so I have that to juggle as well. Life does not stop at all. In any case, that's yeah. Let me know. Oh, sweet. You're all signed up. Cool. I'll meet you. I actually have a call with them today. 2 peeps at the MBDA at 2 my time today, talking about some stuff. I'm an anomaly to them. Well, I'm an anomaly to a lot of people, especially my family. But being like, I'm like a service guy, but yet I have a social influence portal for that, and it's pretty significant-ish, which is weird. I never thought this would be my life 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but this, I'm happy. It's great. It's awesome. I'm not in any position or close to, or nor I would want to, like the bike farmer, close his shop down. But that's him. That's his thing. That's his gig. Whatever. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I enjoy my customer community, local community, and a broad community too. So that's something I'm not going to personally want to let go at all. So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Even if I have to go get a job at Walmart and be a greeter, I'll still do this. It depends how weird it gets, right? Don't never say never, right? But no, I have plans on it yet, but you never know. But yeah, absolutely. Let's hang out. Also, we need to collaborate or talk to, I think, Aaron from Go Guava is going too. Hook up with him. He does e-bike stuff. It'd be interesting to see what your 2 perspectives of being in the e-bike realm, and would be an interesting conversation for sure. Totally different type shops, of course, and that would be a very impactful insights for sure for a lot of those who are starting to get to do more e-bikes and all that. For Forbidden Colossal, there is definitely a risk for kids for bikes on full throttle. But we have one kid here. I mean, he's pretty sharp, pretty smart, but it just takes one dumb incident, like a car not paying attention and seeing his little happy ass going through the neighborhood way too fast and getting popped. And I mean, I'm not worried too much about the people that live here. We all drive slow because we know we have a lot of kids around here, but you got all those delivery drivers. I mean, there's like 10, like Amazon and several variations comes in like 2 or 3 times a day. Walmart, then you got your general UPS, FedEx, and USPS too. I mean, it's like, why are we having so many vehicles going to? I don't know. Somehow it should be streamlined, so it's less traffic through the neighborhoods. Just nuts. They're all going to the same place, but so that's capitalism for you. It's just weird. Monday through Wednesday. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll definitely. I'll be there earlier. We're driving out. At least our plans are so far, and I'll be later, probably through Saturday, maybe Sunday. So we'll carve out some time. Definitely, I can definitely fit that in for sure. Yeah, if you're only going to Cabda for Wednesday, I mean, that's all you really do is do one day. I mean, I know it's a 2-day event, but it's not much more to see there. It's not like the old days of Interbike where you're there for like 4 days and you still haven't seen everything. It's like just nuts. But it is what it is today. Oh, nice. Thanks for chiming in, Susan. Good question about because everybody's intrigued. Everybody needs help. Every shop. I mean, regardless. No, I don't think there's any shop right now. There's like so confident, like, oh, we're good. We got this. In States anyway. Europe and Canada probably are just fine. Here, we're we're just so got whiplash. I just stopped watching the news. There's always something more dumb. So don't have time to waste on that anymore. But in any case, we're all here doing our thing, trying to be positive in the cycling community and so forth. That kind of deal. Oh, there's another partnership I should talk about that. It's a Cantito Road. I thought it was some name for like some fancy European race thing, but it's apparently this guy's road that he grew up on. That's named his company. But the new owner is really cool. The new owner, they carry a Connex chains, which is a German chain manufacturer. It's Whipperman, which Whipperman makes chains for like elevators and big machinery and all that. Well, the bike brand line is Connex. It's German steel, German design, engineered, and all that. Those who've been around in the cycle industry know and been subjected to them at some point. They do have their own link, and their link is what they call the Connex link. Their link, you do not need to use a chain tool for, and do not use a chain tool on it when you come across this. So all you service people out there that are watching, and you see a Connex chain or the Connex link, and it is definitely different looking than other ones. It has like a little heart shape bow to it. I don't think the link itself says Connex, but the chain it does. So if you have a Connex link that's been put on a SRAM or Shimano, keep in mind, don't need to use the chain tool on this guy. I made a little video on it. It's a short, so check it out. But essentially what it is, you just fold it and squish it together. This has been waxed, by the way, so that's why it's kind of, my chain has really got stiff. You pushed it in and out like so. You fold it, and you just guide it. Reusable, branded reusable, branded toolless. But if you use a tool on it, it's going to damage it. So don't be using those fancy pliers from Park or whatever brand on them. That what makes it really nice for re-waxing, cleaning, and taking the chain off. So they carry this, and they carry another brand. I would not say the name because I would butcher it. But they do another wax, like a sunflower seed wax, the drip lube, which works on chains and some various other stuff. Anyway, partnerships, really cool people with really cool brands, with companies with heart and soul to them. So you don't see Connex chains as an OEM on bikes because they're too nice. They're too expensive. It's like their premium part. It's like you don't see Chris King on a lot of OEM. It's usually the custom builds, right? For the most part. So when you're looking at that, longevity of this, they have all these tests, of course, and there's their Kool-Aid, saying their chains just without being waxed or last longer and with better precision shifting and all that stuff. But when you add that wax layer to it, you increase the longevity of that chain. So it does justify for the cost of them. But what's really kind of cool is they actually do have a stainless steel chain, which is really good for a lot of those cycling environments where it's just wet and salty. So in any case, that's another partnership I'm working on. I'm going to be doing some videos with them, and at some point you'll see them on my website as well as a portal to buy. Working on that as well. So anyway, I'm doing things differently here as a bike shop. That's why I'm the anomaly. That's why I've been finding some successes through that. And again, I don't want to just be Mr. Pedal, whatever product it's sent to me to review, which I'll review some things. Beaver sent me some stuff to review for free product, but the stuff that I use, they gave me a laundry list of crazy things, like a scooter, like, old person scooter, like scooter around Vegas, which I should have got because, take it to Vegas. Just kidding. The dumb things are like 12, like a couple of grand. I'm like, damn, like you're offering to send me? No, it doesn't fit the niche that I'm trying to do here. One, and second, I don't need dumb stuff. So I'll cherry pick the things that they actually do sell that actually is worth a damn for what I do. And that's what you'll see. But everything else is going to be partnership with companies that have a heart and soul within the cycling industry or related to, or can be related to the cycling industry. So that's where I kind of feel my influence, if you would call it. Do I influence you? Oh, whipper. Yeah, that's not suggestive at all. Well, it's German. I don't know. Whipper may mean something way different in German. So anybody in the, is watching this, it's from Germany or speaks German, please correct us because we're just dumb. Oh yeah, it's fun stuff. I mean, if you can't laugh, you're just gonna cry, and I'm all cried out. So let's just laugh some more about things. So what is the smallest frame do you ride? Oh, me personally, do you have anything smaller frames because they are lighter and more minimalist? Smallest, well, I could probably squeeze into a medium large, but I'm pretty straight 57, 58 centimeter. It's my legs. I have long legs, shorter torso. So I got to accommodate the legs first. And then that's where the problem is, shorter torso. You get a longer leg, so you get a taller frame. And then my happy butt sticking way up in the air and my head's sticking. Back in the day of the 90s, mountain bikes, you remember this? I mean, although they're old enough, Jared probably remembers this. Like your seat's like 3 or 4 inches above your handlebars. I mean, you're like this teetering thing going down the trails. This is way before like dropper posts or any of that jazz. So yeah, it's just uncomfortable bear. I mean, I get on a bike like that for a test ride or whatever, and like instant not comfortable. I can't see myself more than a half a mile of riding this without going, nope, this done. Nope. Yeah. I'm more in the endurance comfort class now, and I'm fine with it. I'm totally cool. I've embraced my age and my riding. I'm not going fast nowhere. I'm having a great time, and I race against myself ish, and I'm just happy. As long as I'm comfortable, get back from a long ride, it don't matter. And yeah, I could just, I'm like, if I haven't ridden for a while and get on a bike, I can pound 30, 40 miles pretty easily. Muscle memory's all there. It's all good. I just want to enjoy it. And that's what everybody should be doing. I mean, for the most part. Oh yeah, Jared. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the whole race circuit thing, the race circuit mentality, like I want the lighter. And that's where the compact frames originally was designed for. Talking to John Bradley about it, he was working at Schwinn, was before they got sold out to a investment company, and he's the one that pushed the first compact frames in the early 2000s, which Trek and Specialized were right there, mostly Specialized and Giant, and it was the reduced material. But the selling point for most consumers was easier just to get on the damn thing because you had a lower sloping tap tube to get your leg over it. So it's, that was the more benefit than for the 98% of the bikes that were sold was the benefit versus the weight. But yes, you'd have the racers there that count the wattages and the grams and all that. I mean, all power to them, but it's really the motor. It's really the motor, i.e. your health, what you're eating and all that stuff that goes with it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think some titanium bolts in the sloping top tube is going to make or break a race for you. But if you think it is, and if you have more dollars and cents, you're going to buy it. and the market at the time, they're more than happy to make it and sell it to you. And they still do. You seen the carbon crank chain rings? Those things, I've seen like videos of those being made. That's just nuts. Like, I don't know how long those last. Anyway, I'll use white lightning wax, chain wax. Nice. Oh, he hates the smell of WD-40. So I don't squirt the. Well, they have a WD-40 chain lube, which has like a kind of like Old Spice scent to it, which is kind of weird. Yeah. So what I use on cables is Triflow drip lube for cables and pivots on my derailleurs. And then I use for chain lube, if it's just a regular chain, clean chain, and they don't want wax, just the Rock and Road Gold seems to work pretty good. Keeps it somewhat clean-ish. White lightning, though, when I use that, it used to cake up, especially when you reapply. So you get that on your jockey pulley wheel, a cake of Teflon buildup. I haven't tried the wax, though. That's the one in the gold bottle, right? I haven't tried that version of it. It's not the same wax-ish, I don't think, as like your hot wax, which you melt. It isn't that, of course, but they make a inversion or emulsified version of it with water, which Silca makes their secret stuff. It's like 2 ounces of 16 bucks. Don't have to use much of it, though. It lasts a long time. You don't apply it for every ride. You apply it when the chain starts squeaking, that kind of thing. It's the same wax, tungsten sulfide with paraffin with whatever else blend they have in there. But it's the same as their hot wax, but in a liquid version of it with emulsified with water. When it evaporates, that's all it is, the wax. Not sure what the Connex brand is, but it's from Optimum, I think. It has the same block looking thing. And the KMC, Bill and I were having discussions like the KMC, I'm pretty sure is squirt. Like we were thinking it's like they were using the squirt. They didn't come up with their own wax. I mean, Connex and KMC, they're having their pre-wax chains that they're manufacturing from the manufacturer, pre-waxed. And the waxes they're using are definitely not what their own formulated. They're using somebody else's. It's not. It can be corrected if I'm wrong. It's the guy from Zero Friction. Definitely yell at me. Great channel. He does a whole bunch of testing and all that stuff. So he is in the know. But it's like it smells like it looks like it pretty much is. I saw one of his videos, Optimum, which is more of a non-United States brand. So I was not that familiar with it. Wax. So they're using that. And it's the same brick design. I mean, I got a block of it. So if you look up Optimum, I think it's called Optimum wax, and you look up the Connex wax block, same box even, I think. And the brick looks like a honey, this guy, octagon shape. Oh, it even says optimized. Oh, it's optimized. That's what it is. That's the brand, optimized. And you can read it. It's the same wax. Just Connex box. Weird, right? Anyway, they make a drip lube too. So I don't believe the Finish Line wax is the same wax you want to drip on a pre-treated submerged wax. So that's something to think about there anyway. But a good, WD-40 story is when John Bradley started working for WD-40 bike line. They did a big push in the early 2000s, and that was a hard sell, to say the least, to any bike shop he rolled into to try to get the WD-40 line to be purchased there. Because decades we were told WD-40 was a no-no because of displacement. It doesn't work well as a chain lubricant or a parts lubricant. So every bike shop ingrained is like, nope, not WD-40. What the hell are you doing in here? They did, formulated a decent formulation, and it was okay, like matches up with all the other ones for some level, but it had a particular scent to it. I bought. He gave me some. He still had some leftovers, so he gave me some leftover not samples, but product that he had left over from days when he worked there. It has a stink to it. Yeah, smells like, man, it smells like my grandfather. I mean, it has like that Old Spice type farmer stank to it. It's weird, which apparently attracts certain people who like have old issues. Anyway, but yeah, he had comments from some of the people that did use it in the shop, like, wow, it smells like more of a cologne. Yeah, they still make the product. You'll see it in Walmart alongside White Lightning, alongside I think Muck Off is in there now. So you're talking about industry, just like sell anything to anyone. Who's buying anything right now? Walmart and Amazon. Well, I don't know if Amazon buys that much, but anyways, like product placements and so forth for any company is, if Walmart's like, yeah, we'll place your product, we'll take several thousand cases of it or whatever, it's going to end up on their shelves, and they're going to want the brand name. So will you see a Trek product or a Bontrager product or Specialized product in Walmart's? Probably not. But you're definitely seeing a lot of the sub-brands slowly getting in there. I think Blackburn's in there now and some other various other brands. And then they are building up their Ozark Trail brand. This is really intriguing. Now, I mean, I'm running off on time, but God, I've been talking a lot today. I must be really freaking out on a Friday. Well, it's you guys. You're engaging me and keep me talking, keep me going with stories. With the Ozark Trail, this is interesting. So the Ozark Trail is like, you've seen videos of the gravel bike, right? And I've worked on a couple of them. I think not in a shop here, but in the field, like when I did the event. Actually, not too bad. Heavy. They're tankish, but whatever. And then the guy on a big channel did a review on one. Shit, what's his name? I can't remember his name. It's the Wild Ones, the Wildlings, Wild Ones media. They're English group, English band, not like the Beatles, but pretty cool like it. They have a podcast every week on Thursdays, and it's a mechanic, a former racer, and a mechanic's wife that's the producer. Actually, it's pretty cool. It's like not over the top, not like those high-end channels where they talk about all the latest bullshit tech and whatever. Oh, I said that out loud. I'm sorry. The stuff that doesn't resonate with the rest of us. They do, talk about stuff that resonate. They do some like higher end stuff, but it kind of soft leads you into it. You don't feel like you're like watching the lead channel. Anyway, they did a Ozark Trail gravel bike review, and the guy was like, it's actually not too bad. I mean, for what it is, it's not bad. And if you're a mechanic that knows how to work on it, or has somebody that does put it together correctly, because Walmart's known not to put things together well, which is a whole nother sustainable issue in itself, because all they do is like, oh shit, it got a flat, it didn't work, and they return it. Where does it go? I don't know. It goes in some pallet and gets shipped to Mexico or something. That's what Big Five used to do. Anyways, for all the returns, that's a whole nother level of scratch your head, that's dumb thing. But not bad. Then you have the Swift bike mechanic guy. I think he follows me. Cool guy. Seems like mobile repair. He did a review, spec check on the Ozark Trail mountain bike hardtail, and it had very similar, if not better, componentry than the $400 Trek. More than $400 in Trek for something. But anyway, the company that makes these for them. There's their own house brand. So, but it is made by a big importer. I'm not going to tell you the name, but it's a big importer of bikes, department store bike company. Huge talking about hundreds of thousands of units being sold to Target, Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, various others. Sports Academy is another one. So if you're thinking like, oh, it's a small runoff and they'll sell them to be somewhat successful, it's like they could double down on this like aggressively. And if they show enough sales through what we're going through right now, yes, it's going to be a new reality. So it's kind of like a version of Canyon invading for the high end stuff. It's like a version of Canyon, but the low end. And what's selling right now, that. And it can be shipped direct to the consumer. You don't have to go to Walmart. You can just go to Walmart's website and go pick one up and have it shipped to you. Crazy. So if you know how to turn a wrench and make it safe, you might not have a bad bike for half the cost or 2/3 of the cost, which kills the independent bike dealer. Let me tell you about the independent bike dealer. The independent bike dealer in any of these scenarios, from Walmart to their own brands that they carry, basically just get screwed. Because the wholesalers, the big names, need to make their cut. Of course they do. But it's a pretty big cut for the volume that they do, which they keep shrinking the margin, the MSRP that they suggest selling, let's say $5,000. And they're telling the bike shops they need to buy that $5,000 bike to the MSRP to the public for maybe $3,500. So you're only making $1,500. That sounds like a lot of money, right? It is. It is still a lot of money. But when you take the cost of shipping it, to getting a mechanic to put it together, somebody inventorying it, to readjust it to fit on the sales floor, somebody selling it, and then all those steps. It's like about a 6-touch system, like all those people, which, by the way, is on the bike shop side. The wholesale side is basically shows up in the warehouse and gets shipped right back out. So it's less touches, less labor intensive. Then you have to deal as up front as the bike shop, deal with the branding, recalls, any of the issues that may come along with that too, as a branding, that kind of thing. We're the front lines. We take all the heat, you take all the abuse, and yeah, they get the smallest margin. So they are getting killed there. And it's been that way. It's like, I mean, even in the 90s, the best we had was 35 points on a bike. So for us, it was volume. Like we sold a shit ton of 820s, like the $300, $203 bikes, like all day long. You calculate it, we were probably giving away $5 for each bike that we sold in hopes of selling some bottle cages and some stuff to offset that. It was basically a money laundering, losing platform. I mean, it just didn't work. So anyway, yeah, it was interesting, needless to say, for sure. And it still is very painful for a lot of bike shops. So bike shops are looking for brands that have a little bit better margins, but more and more so is price points within the range that's in there, what the current market is, not what the companies are trying to sell. And I think the companies have finally got smacked in their face big enough, hard enough, that bike shops are not going to take it anymore. So here we are. So anyway, just want to give everybody that doesn't know a perspective on that in itself. Nice. Hey, Tim, thank you for joining. I'm about ready to jump off. Yeah, interesting thing about that bike that you were having me take a look at, and I'll let you know. I'll send you a little email. Didn't pass the sniff test. I think it's hot. Yeah, it's weird. I don't feel comfortable. For various reasons. In any case, it goes back to when you're buying a used bike, bike shop buying a used bike, or anybody using a bike, if somebody's going to say, meet me in a parking lot, that's the first partial red flag. Parking lot downtown Denver, second red flag. Doesn't give out name or phone number or anything like that. Third red flag. Does not post it on Facebook Marketplace where you have to have an account related to it, only on Craigslist. Really a bigger red flag. And on top of that, I asked for a serial number, a picture of it, so I can reference it to, size and model year. You'll get that when you buy it. Last red flag. It's hot. You almost guarantee you. If it's not, the guy's too weird. And I've had too many weird close scenarios when buying used bikes. I'm sorry, just not going to happen. So keep in mind of those scenarios. I try to vet from original owners, those who have somewhat of a Facebook account that seems to be a person. Because there's been it's a huge theft ring going on in Denver Metro Front Range here. So keep in mind of that. And the unfortunate part of all of it is the cops don't do shit. They don't do a damn thing. You call them. You even call them. I had a customer call out the police this is my bike. It's hot. Can you go down there with me? Nope, we don't do that. They're not going to do that. It's totally, I don't know the total story, but they had no support on that whatsoever. All they're looking for is rings, not the wedding ring. They're looking for organizations that are doing multiple hundreds of bikes and transporting them. That's what they're trying to bust. They're not after the individuals. And the thing is too, locally, they caught the individuals, there's homeless people stealing bikes. They catch them. The DEA doesn't know what to do with them. So they just let them loose. Can't bog down the system for petty theft, so they ended up back out on the street, that kind of thing. So it's a lose-lose situation. It's pretty bad and ugly, but unfortunately, that's turned out to be not a pretty situation. And when I question my safety, going to go look at a bike, that's no. Yeah, it's I have enough weirdness in my life. I don't need to add to it, unfortunately. But in any case, well, I got to go do things other than just talking. And I hope you enjoyed the little bit longer show today. Next Friday will be at 10 o'clock at Freak Out Friday. And I'm sure there'll be something else we'll be freaking out over. And if you don't catch us on Shop Toss Tuesday, if you like content like this, please like and subscribe. If you want to support myself and my channel, support my community of people that support me, like Bicycle Wheel Warehouse, Vital Bike Chains, Continto Road, and others. You'll find them on trusted partners at knowaguybicycles.com. Thanks again for hanging out with me in the garage. If it's nice in your neck of woods, please go for a ride. And hey, get out there and go for a ride. Just let it all go for just a minute, because your mental health is more important than anything than you think. So get out there, ride, treat everybody kindly, and try not to let everything bug you too much. Thanks again for everybody for hanging out. Oh, you're in San Francisco for Forbidden Classes. Nice little town. Tell Gary Fisher he's in Marin, apparently, right up the hill from you. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I really enjoy these. It gives me an opportunity to say what's on my mind, and kind of it's my blow-off valve, if you will. And all the companies, all the people that support me, the community as well. Appreciate you. Till next time. Chilly today. Tuesday, garage is going to be open. It's going to be sunny out. It's going to be nice. I love it. Anyway, enjoy. Thanks for hanging out in the garage. And until next time, have a wonderful day. I should let you watch this while I was wrapping up. See if you can find it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, please like and subscribe. And if you're watching this on a replay.
Chain links. Don't mess these up. They are definitely a revolutionary change in link systems for bicycle chains. But you need to know a couple things about these before you actually install them or take them off a bike. Let's review. First thing you need to know is these chain links are reusable.
And it also could be used on Shimano and SRAM chains. So if you want a reusable, which they don't claim theirs are, chain links that are removable, this is the ticket for you. The second thing you need to know is you do not need to use a tool, nor should you ever use a tool to install or take these off. Pretty simple. Put the link in with the bubble side down, then you do the other link here. Once you get them together, fold the chain up, slide into place, and your link is there. If you use a chain tool on this, you will damage this link, so keep the tool away. No. Then you put the chain in, which is really great for chains to be clean easily, also for re-waxing. You will find these links on all of their chains from single speed to 12 speed. Just make sure the Connex link is on there, even their pre-waxed chains as well. You can also buy them as an aftermarket for your current Shimano SRAM or a backup link to put in your pack. In any case, these are one of those mind-blowing link systems which, like all bikes, should have anyway. Hopefully you found good insights on this particular chain link from Connex, and if it works for something for you, all the better. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garage. If it's nice in your neck of woods, please go for a ride.